Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this video, if you could just hit that big red button down below. At the time of recording, I'm literally 2 subscribers away from 8k, so just 2 of you click that button and we'll hit that 8k mark, and then it's on to 10k. But today's video is going to be part of a 3-part series looking at some players that could be in line to replace Glen Kamara as he's made his move to Stade Rennais in France. Now, sorry to spoil the illusion, but I'm recording all 3 of these videos on the same day, so the shirt won't change in the next videos. I've recently had a tattoo on my belly, and I cannot be bothered changing shirts just to unstick and have pain and things. So, yeah, now that that's out of the way, the first one I'm going to talk about is the expensive signing. Now, the expensive signing out of these 3 would be Gabriel Sara. Now, Gabriel Sara is somebody who's actually rated at about £15 million. Now, there's a potential that Leeds could negotiate that down a little bit. There's a potential also that Gabriel Sara is Premier League bound, but there's nothing concrete as of yet in that department. But having said that, he had a fantastic season last year. He was amazing for Norwich. He's only 25 years old. He had 13 goals and 12 assists, and he can play that box-to-box number 8 role, which is what Glen Kamara was playing. He can play on the wing and he can play number 10 as well. He's very versatile. He's young. He's got his prime ahead of him, and he had a fantastic season last season. Now, Gabriel Sara, when you actually look at the statistics compared to similar leagues to the Championship, so I think that compares to the Eredivisie, some other second division leagues as well, like the Bundesliga 2, La Liga Santander 2, or Liga Segunda in Spain. So he is way up there. Now, in terms of actual eye test player profile, Gabriel Sara is strong. He's well built. He can get his body into situations where he can back into a player and hold the ball up. He can also spin a man. He can also open up space for himself and take a shot. We saw that against Leeds. He was always worming around on the edge of the box, trying to squirm away from a defender just long enough to get a shot away. And I think that is something that Leeds have not had in this midfield. I've mentioned in the Joe Rothwell video how Leeds midfield has pretty much been passing sideways and backwards over the course of the past season. And you need somebody who's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and go forward. Somebody like Gabriel Sara, whilst it may not be the most attainable deal in the the most attainable deal in the world, the 49ers are ambitious, and I think it's a job that they would probably like to take on. Because if you do sign him and you do get up to the Premier League, I fully believe that he could crack it at Premier League level, hence why there's a lot of Premier League clubs actually looking at Gabriel Sara. Now, let's have a little bit of a dive into his statistics, because versus midfielders in the Championship and other similar leagues over the last 365 days, this is all also compared to the amount of minutes he's played, so 4,101 minutes. He's in the 98th percentile for non-penalty goals, so the top 2% of all of those leagues. In terms of actual shots, 2.22 per 90, which puts him in the top 6% in those leagues. Assists, 0.26 per 90, puts him in the 96th percentile, so the top 4%. Shot creating actions is one that you want to look at as well, because a shot creating action is, if you don't know, if you haven't been to the channel before, we always talk about this, but a shot creating action is either an assist to somebody who had a shot, or the person who passed it to the person who passed it for a shot, if you get what I mean. So it even could be someone winning a free kick, or it could be Sara passing it to another Norwich player who then passes it to Sargent, who has a shot. So it's a way of measuring whether they're involved in the attacking play, and Gabriel Sara definitely is. Shot creating actions 4.96 per 90, which puts him in the top 2% of all of those leagues, which is very, very good. Of course, as well, passes attempted. He does attempt a lot of passes, 62.59 per 90, which puts him in the 87th percentile. But when you look at his pass completion, it's 80.6, which puts him in the 43rd percentile. So he's actually below average on that. But when you think about it, and I discussed this the other day, I've mentioned it multiple times, it was either Kevin De Bruyne or Toni Kroos. One of them said, I don't want my pass accuracy to be 100%, because it means that I'm not trying things. I'm not trying forward balls. So somebody like Gabriel Sara, who likes to dash forward, get involved in the attacking play, he's going to play risky, dangerous balls, maybe over the top, over the fullback for the winger to run onto. And what that does is it allows players to make runs off him. So when they see he's got the ball, they go, okay, we can actually make runs now, which is something that we've struggled with because we've kind of sat around the box, waited for the ball, passed it back again. So somebody like that is dynamic and can start moves. And also, they're not all going to be accurate. If you pass in passes like that, they're not all going to be accurate and people are going to cut them out defensively. So it's important that you note that whilst that's low, it's okay for a player who plays in the positions that Gabriel Sara plays in. Progressive passes and progressive carries, 6.67 progressive passes and 1.78 progressive carries, which puts him in the 84th and 78th percentile respectively. So in the top 25% for those. So really, really, really good. And he also takes a lot of players on, successful take-ons. 0.88 per 90, which is in 71st percentile. What is interesting is his defensive stats are pretty poor. He doesn't really get involved in the defensive play, which a lot of the time Leeds wouldn't need him to, because if he's in a number 8 role, you want him to be attacking and going forward, and that way we're on the front foot a little bit more, and you have Ampadu or Gruev sitting a little bit back as that holding midfielder. But his defensive stats are quite low, but his clearance is 1.82 per 90, which puts him in the 82nd percentile for defenders, for midfielders, which is quite interesting because it means that he's coming back into the box for potentially corners and things like that and actually getting clearances on it, which you can't undervalue having extra players in there to stop set pieces going in against you. So overall, Gabriel Sara is an excellent, excellent player. Do I think that we can get him? Maybe not. But I think we should try, and that's the kind of the point of this video. When you look at those statistics, it's worth a punt. And I'm going to talk about this in the other 2 videos as well. Well, in one of the other 2 videos. Whilst players might have a Premier League option over coming to Leeds, there is now a certain appeal in the project. With the 49ers coming in and the ability that they have to spend money and to get Leeds back up to the Premier League, and then once they do, to build something special from there, hopefully there's a project to be seen by these players, and they might go, do you know what, I'll take a punt on that. If it doesn't work after a year, I'm going to go somewhere else. But for example, the likes of Joe Rodon, obviously he had Premier League options. He could have gone to a Premier League team where he probably would have started a lot of games, but he decided to go to Leeds because it's a project. It's something that you can go forward with, and it's ambitious. We're ambitious at the moment. We're trying to do something, but people will come at me now for saying we're ambitious because we've not signed anyone, but the 49ers do move in silence to try and get the players that they want, and particularly players who potentially might take a little bit longer to get over the line because they are ambitious players to sign. So let's trust in the process and hope that we do try to get somebody like Gabriel Sara, because he is undoubtedly the best central midfielder in the Championship last season, other than maybe Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, but he's way up there for terms of creating things, scoring goals, getting into the box and being that dynamic number 8 that you'd like to see a little bit more of in Leeds United's team, because so far it's been a little bit, since we've been back in the Championship, it's been a little bit side to side, passing backwards, and you want somebody who's going to be dynamic, break the lines and get forward, and I think Gabriel Sara is that. So that's been part 1. That is your expensive option. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, look out for the free option. And then on Sunday, on Sunday, look out for the cheap option as well, because I think both of those could be also very good moves for Leeds, especially given the fact we're trying to get back to the Premier League. It could be quite a clever bit of business that I've scouted for you. So thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you tomorrow.